Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader and coach, if you will, at TradeView Markets. It's January 5th. It is Wednesday, the third day into the year. I am a little late. I apologize. A little after 11 Eastern. It's been a busy morning, and I'll tell you why I've been late. Pardon. Let's go into TradeView Markets. Let me sign into TradeGATEHub. I sign in the same way everybody else does. Let's log in. Hi, Mike. Hi, Coach. How you doing? Okay, the bottom line is let's go into the stock room. And Monday's data, which today obviously being Wednesday, was the most important. And it should be dynamic, should be rolling out through the week. So let's go. And by the way, up to the top right, go through all the videos. We do it. Coach does one every day. I do one Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 Eastern. I'm on with Coach Dale, 10 o'clock Eastern at Tuesday. So please go over all the videos. Not I do it myself, not only be a better product, but to re-edify and learn from my mistakes, and even more so. So let's go to what happened today so far. All right, we're still under pressure. Now, the problem that I came into this morning, this is where I started today, is that I thought we should have been more oversold than we were. I thought we would be about down here, which made me a lot more reluctant than trying to step in. This is a two-sided market, if you will. And I would say I consider myself a swing trader for my active management account, for my long-term trade view portfolio. I'm a position trader. I don't really micromanage it, and I shouldn't. If you really want your positions to work, really don't look at them. But you know what? For a swing trader, this is not the type of market. With the VIX being so low and the rotation being evident, stocks aren't reversing. A couple of them are in play. They're reversing, like General Motors. The oils can keep going up. I didn't hear Dale's 9:30 webcast, but I'm sure he says something about rising rates to go into the banks of the cyclical. So I'm sure he said that. If he didn't, then I'm going to re-edify that to you. So let's go in today. So right here was the issue. The gamma exposure, the dark pools didn't want any part of it. The S&P was all the way up here. If you see every time the S&P is up here in the blue lines, which is the dark pools and the gamma, we pull back. Sector sentiment, this is the problem. I thought we were oversold, or I still think we're oversold, but the problem is here, a lot of these indices and sectors are overbought. Basic materials overbought. The fins, they opened up nicely, but they rested a little bit. The miners, they're right in overbought territory right now, but they worked. That's why you shouldn't only use this index. It's sentiment. Sometimes the sentiment goes up. Listen, the best moves are on the higher sentiment. The miners, when they're up at 80 and 82, you have to be tactical and you have to be quick. But when things get stretched to the downside, they exacerbate to the downside in the same way on the upside. So let's keep in mind, utilities, same thing, retail. So, the market seems oversold, but odd sector sentiment and even tactical sentiment, we're not. That's the problem. NASDAQ futures, after a weekday yesterday, thought there'd be a lot more help. I would have liked to have been down here, maybe right down we are right now. Crude still going. Crude's up nicely. A lot of the stocks are up nicely today. Some of them reversed, and you have to take a key at which one's reversed. I'll get to that in a second. Goldman Sachs best trades across all assets. Watch that in your own time. Bank of America's research on Ford, that was down 50 cents, reversed. Now it's breaking high of the day. Yesterday's top option flow. What do we have? Intel. Let's take a look at that, for example. Intel and ConocoPhillips. What else? Devon. Okay. So top option flow was Intel. Let's take a look at Intel today. That's up 4%. The option flow worked. The smart money was right. What else did I say? ConocoPhillips. Well, ConocoPhillips worked. If you were tactical, like I said at the beginning of the telecast, ConocoPhillips closed. This is the broken line at 77. The high day was 78. So it still worked. What else do we have? GE and Rob. Oh, here we go. I'll tell you why I took a position in Robinhood. Are we on the party? It's been a long morning. I got up at 3:30 Eastern. Robinhood, 5,000 calls going off. That's not only the reason why I took a position. I'll get into that in a second, and I will. Okay, the breadth has been weak. That's the issue. RBC top picks, do it on your own time. Do your research. Beyond Meat shares up 8%. Heavily shorted stocks. That why it kind of settled. It's in a trading range. You can look at the chart. It's not for me. I don't like stocks that are making multi-year lows and then pop on fundamental news, it's usually a time to sell. I probably have a question here. Excuse me. Probably Lewis. Yeah, Nevada. I knew it was Lewis. Nevada's a no play. Nevada's a sell. So I'll get back to business. Nevada's a sell. Walter Bloomberg upgrades and downgrades. LGVN announces phase 2 trial. And the reason why I only try to put, well, not only, I do put the relevant ones on the screen. So when I think it's relevant, I'm not just going to post every headline. That's why we have the TradeView news on the right here. Or excuse me, let me go back to this. That's why we have the TradeView news on the right here, or even go to our top news page. And as you can see, stocks posted 8 minutes ago. We have commodities posted 4 minutes ago and global headlines. So we're readily updating it, Fuse. But let me get back to, what was I saying for a second? Oh, LGVN. I only post the relevant headlines that I think are material news. So LGVN, which is stock I was interested in buying, but this is, like I said, a type of market where I don't want to be the first one to step in the pool. LGVN, it was a high flyer. I didn't like that it broke here. It settled on the 200 moving day, but certainly from a stock that only a month and a half ago went from 4 to 47, I'm having interested. But you know what? The news really didn't matter. It popped on the news, and like every bio these days, it sold off. And every complaint I have is the biotechnology sector opens up nicely and just sells off, and they're right. Except for Pfizer making highs, but that's on news. I'll get back to something else. Let's go back to the news on TGH. Excuse me. This is the guy for the bio news, global leader. AFRM went from the hottest stock in the market to under the 200 day. I'm sorry, I'm yawning, Lewis. So I may buy the next dip on AFRM, but I didn't. Thank God. I actually bought it nicely yesterday. If we do 2 days and I do chart parameters, hopefully it shows the trades. Even yesterday I had a nice trade on it, but it didn't. I didn't trade. I traded yesterday, by the way. I bought it 80 and I sold it at 85. Thank God. But if you want to buy AFRM, this is the place right here. If you want to try it, I'm saying you try it. There are better trades, but the line in the sand is 81.5 AFRM. But you know what? You're not going to get much because there's a gap here at 86 and there's a 200-day moving average at 91. So there's really no edge. But if you wanted to try it, only because yesterday I had a nice move. I mean, it did open at 95 and it settled at 80 within the last 5 minutes. It went from 80 to 86 and everybody was probably in it all day long. And that's why they sold it. I sold it. I bought it early. I bought it like 83 and I had to hold it to 80. And I think I sold it at 85.25 or something like that, right around there. But that's the line in the sand. I'm really not interested in it today anymore. It was for trade only. I digress. I'll take more questions in a second. Let me go back to TGH. Okay, have to watch. ARK Investments. Now, the problem with Kathy here, as you see, and see the days before, she's been selling the winners. She's selling Tesla, she's selling Teradyne, and that should be Synopsys. And she's buying SC, Net, Nutella, which I do like, and NVTA. So you know what? Kathy's averaging down, and they're taking advantage. Hold on. It's another Lewis question, I'm sure. Yep, Krem and Timas. I don't like Krem. I don't like Krem, even though it's, hold on a second. Let's get back to the chart, Lewis. Good question. You're asking about good breast to be good, thick, tradable questions, and I appreciate that, Lewis. Krem right here. Krem looks the same as this, AFRM. Doesn't it look similar? I mean, you might try and catch it on the bottom. I like Krem better because it's the best of breed. But I want to make a point here to Lewis and everybody else. These types of stock that are broken, like a Krem or even like a Net, which I will, these type of stocks, you're not going to get you're not going to try to, you're not going to get the bottom, although I wouldn't completely talk you out of it of buying at this base at 109, but you're not going to get a V-shaped move up. This stock has to take some time. It's going to be a U-shape. It's going to either go up because of material precipitous news, and everybody's going to be like, oh my God, we were wrong about Net. And all of a sudden they take it to 160, which is unlikely, or it's going to have to absorb. It's going to have to go up. It's going to have to back and fill, as they say. So yeah, Krem might be, or Net might be a place to buy, or even Krem, if you will. But I mean, you kind of missed it. Well, it's only $6 from the low today. And I do like the fact the RSI is oversold. Let's go to the weekly. No, I don't like it. I think people are underwater in this and they're going to want to sell the pop. I don't. If you want to take a stab on it, start a 10% position. and then add to it. It's got to settle at least at 255. I mean, look at this overhead here with this volume, and that was the 200-day, basically at 252. That's where it needs. Not going to break any records. Sell winners, the whole losers. Right. I did it to myself a little bit. Rookie moves, coach. I agree. Timas. Let's go to Timas's question on Lewis. All right. Timas. I don't know what to do. I don't follow it that much. It did this little V shape. It's got to hold here, and it's got to hold this 50-day moving average is 117, but it still has 200-day moving overhead. Let's go to the weekly. All right, Timas looks better than Krem. I do agree. So Timas, I would probably take a stab more than Krem just because of that. What else? Nevada. Let me say why I nixed Nevada. Well, first of all, I don't like the way crypto looks. And crypto's hedge. See, Nevada's the same thing. Once this Nevada breaks this channel above the moving averages, it's in trouble, and the RSI isn't even overbought. And yesterday's volume was worrisome. It had the best volume it's had in the last 2 weeks, and it finished on the low, and it's about to break. And I think we're probably sitting here at the low of the day as we speak. No interest. Nevada. Next, AMD. Same thing. And I'll give you all AMD, same chart, no good. And you know why I don't like AMD in Nevada even more? Because the fact that Intel is up like this that takes market share away from Nevada is no good either. So AMD and Nevada are in the penalty box for a while. That's going to have, I'd rather pay up for Nevada at 303 than take a stab at 286. And I probably think Coach will agree with me. So Nevada right now, although it does have that triangle, with that volume and the way the market looks, it's more apt to break on the low through that triangle. Okay, what else do we have? Anything? Let me go back to the TradeGATEHub this morning. And you know what's more worrisome? Or let's go through the data. Okay, I have some Lucid that I'm down on, and I'm down on it nicely. I'm going to sell it. I'm pissed. Pardon my vernacular. And I didn't. You know why I didn't sell it? Is because this is what happened this morning. Tesla went positive. NIO went positive. Fisker was strong all day long. So I waited for is Fisker's even positive? Tesla is only down 0.5%, and I'm long Lucid. And I'm down on it nicely. And this stock's down 6%. So I should have sold it. I think this is where I was buying it. And I should have sold it right around here when the others went. Were going up and mine didn't, and I should have sold it because they all went positive. And when they were all positive about 10 o'clock, they were all positive at one point. And at 10 o'clock, Lucid was 39, was down $2. So that had the handwritten on the wall. I'm aggravated, although it did a little volume block there, but I'm in trouble, and I should be because I held the worst of breed. There's the daily. All right, let me get on to it. Mover, range and movers. Now, let me tell you why I have what the problem with the market as we speak right now. It's because of this. Why aren't you asking me about AT&T, Lewis? You didn't buy it down here and hold it to 26? The AT&T was the one we were asking about. How about Viacom, our winner? Nice move for the family, but a lot of ones are offsetting it. But the problem that I see, thank you, Tim. The problem that I see here in the market is that AT&T is going higher, and that's where you hide money when you want high dividends. The problem I see now is that you have Coca-Cola breaking out to a high like that. Why? AT&T pays a big dividend. I also have General Motors, which, by the way, is not that sexy, but you could have bought that in the hole. You could have bought that in the morning right here at 64. And I also had a problem with, well, let's go to my main page. There we are, futures. This is the problem right here. This whole left corner. This is the problem. General Motors, Procter & Gamble is breaking a high. AT&T is breaking high. The other problem is this. The oils won't settle down. And I was aggravated with myself that I did not buy Devon Energy through that breakout. Devon Energy had the volume, and it still worked. So the biggest problem today is that people are following the indices, not following individual stocks, volume, and good price action. Because if you followed good winners, you had General Motors, you had ExxonMobil, the best of breed, you had CCJ, which acted very well. You had Newmont Mining, which, by the way, we got out as a short, thank God, with a little bit of a loser. That had a back and fill right here. And the stock that I was also aggravated on not taking was BTU. Stock had tremendous volume 2 days ago, took a day of rest, and then went through the bull flag or whatever it was, and I don't have it, even as a safety net. BTU was unchanged at 1124, went right to 1205. So that's where we sit. Okay. Let's go to what's moving now in the feed. What are the guys doing? They'll be right about the Qs, by the way. I'll even retweet that. Good point. This is where you need. So this is what Kramer's saying right now, and this was 15 minutes ago. Okay. Many big caps techs have lost a third of their value. Starting to get intriguing. Have not pulled the trigger, and they are intriguing. But you know what? Who wants to be the first one to step in step their foot in the pool? I did a little bit. You know what? I want to add in pieces, but I mean, look at. Well, let me take something off here. Everybody's waiting to step their foot in on Square. Look at Square. It's 50% off the high. This is a best of breed stock. This is incredible. You know what? I would rather buy Square than buy the other ones, Lewis, because this one has this RSI is near 20. Every time it gets this RSI low, it bounces. You're not going to be right originally, but you know what? I would take a shot on Square. That's a Square weekly. How about PayPal? I thought that was positive. All right, so that's not the sexiest thing. It's got to get out of a channel too, but PayPal's positive. Now let me talk about why I bought Hood, and this is the trade. I hope it's up. I don't even want to look. Actually, I do want to look. What am I talking about? Well, let's look at a month trade on Hood. I'm long it. Now I have a couple of things to say about Hood. And this is what you want to see when you try to pick a stock on the bottom. I wish it was a better stock and had better fundamentals, but it fit a lot of my parameters on why I want to try to take a position in something. So let's go to Hood if we speak. Number one is this. And most important, more than anything, let's look at today's news on Hood. Okay. Officer Gallagher acquires 14,000 Hood just yesterday. The COO stepped up and bought 40,000 Hood. The CFO, the guy that knows the books, the guy that knows what's going on in the market, bought 20,000 shares of Hood. So let me go back to something else that happened. This is why I was in New York. When I was in New York, right before the holidays, I think it was the 18th I was in New York for the holidays, but bear with me because it's important. Goldman Sachs, here it is. Goldman Sachs initiate Robinhood with a neutral on Robinhood, and a neutral on Robinhood. Granted, the stock is 16, so they have a 56 price target. It's okay. So they're 50% off the price target. Enough said. Now the big one was the sell. When someone cut it to sell, I'll get the information for you a little bit later, but the bottom line is insiders are buying, and when stocks are getting cut to sell and their price target is 22 and the stock is 16 and insiders are buying, I have an interest because the insiders, not only that, let me go back to what happened in TradeGATEHub this morning. Our option flow. Well, let me go back to my Twitter feed if you can, because this is most important. I don't think Tim will like the fact I'm buying Robinhood, but money's money. Let me get back to my Twitter feed or my private feed about Robinhood. Coin, bearish action. Let me go back to the TradeGATEHub, and this was yesterday. I said at the beginning, for those that are catching on a little bit late, I go where the smart money is. 5,000 January calls on Robinhood to open, but there has been call action in Robinhood for the past month and a half. They're going out till March. Now, I'm going to be wrong before I'm going to be right. I do like the fact that the market is very weak and it's still not making new year lows. I mean, it's still at 1730. Where is it? 1769. I took a position today. I started at 1712. I'm aware it's 1680. I'm probably not going to add to it precipitously. And another thing that I like, I'm not going to lie to you, is let's look at the Hood news. Right, again, I mean, they're a better stock and they're a better, was the steal of the century. Yeah, I bet it was. I never bought Hood. There we go. January 3rd. Hood bull flow this morning. Hold on. More bull flow this morning in Hood. So when insiders step up and there's option activity and the stock is not making a new high, and everybody, Goldman Sachs downgraded the stock to neutral. Its price target at 56. So downgrade the stock to sell and give it a price target at 30. At 1681, everybody's sells are still 20 to 25% below their target. So I never buy a stock on a squeeze alone. But when insiders across the board are putting their money where their mouth is and there's option flow, I'm going to take a stab. But I won't let my ego take charge. I will monitor it on a close basis, but I'll leave it at that. So let's get into TradeGATEHub again. Correct, Robinhood. I am jealous. You shouldn't be, Tim. We're the best of breed, brother. If TradeView was public, I'd be buying TradeView right now. I would. I'd be putting my money where my mouth is. I'm here. I'm not a Robinhood. So let's go by to let's go by what's moving, most importantly, at 11:35 Eastern, because we want price action, range, and good volume. And I'll go to my top list. And by the way, every top list that I have is, let me change screens if I can. Okay, these are top movers. And the bottom line is, Coach probably said at 9:30 that they're cyclicals, which we do not want. Here's my top list. Now let's look at what's moving with the range and good. What's near the high? NE, not interested. That is a driller. Oh, AT&T is near the high at 70% volume at 11:35. The flight to safety, they're running to it. NXE, good volume. Uranium, no interest. Now, if you want to try, well, that's an advanced trade. I'll talk about capitulation another time. CCJ, okay, what has range? Large range with 2% moves. I'm interested in. So this is today's stocks with large range. Marna's near the low. That's bullish for the market because no one's getting vaccinated anymore. EMPH, Roku, and Upstart, that's not that good. BABA, that's a good sign for this. I'll tell you, I bought BABA this morning. I bought JD this morning. That's a good sign. John, I want to talk about something else that I missed in the trade. What was that? Robinhood just did a print down. That's not good. All right, that's noted. Let's look at Robinhood now. We got deflected. Now we got an, you bastard. Anyway, what told me there was a further issue we didn't take was John Deere. John Deere yesterday closed on huge volume, break out of the bull flag, closed at the high, and it was up $12 and it's 1 point. So I see John Deere yesterday like that. I say, wow, I wonder what Caterpillar is going to do. Didn't have Caterpillar up 3. What are the stocks acting well that we liked? MP continuing to go up. The mineral stock, that opened up, but that reversed. That might be okay for the market as we speak. Let's go back to the Robinhood just because I can't take my eyes off. That was probably Lewis selling at the market. Thanks, Lewis. Let's look at BABA. Hang in there. JD, listen, so this is what I did. I saw BABA going up in the morning from 117 to 127. So what did I do? I bought JD. I loaded into JD. This is my price in JD at 62.40 to 62.75. I did sell it at 63.40. It went a lot higher. And I tried to buy the other ones. What did I try to buy? PDD, I missed. That stock only went from 49 to 51, $3 move without a commercial. And then I tried to buy FUTU. Missed it. That stock went from back near the low. Look at that. Where's the hood? The market must be breaking lower. They're in the hood now. Where's the SPYs? All right, you bastards. All right, hopefully AT&T is coming in. It's not. Hopefully Procter & Gamble is coming in a little bit. The oils are coming in. I'm not looking at my screen, but so when I see this, I say, uh-oh, Apple's in trouble. Not really trouble. Microsoft, not doing anything. AFRM, I didn't get stubborn here. It's still holding the line at 81. So as the futures come in, AFRM is holding that 81.50. I wouldn't marry it, but I don't like it. Let me go back to see if I have any other questions because I'm getting a little late here. So the bottom line is, oh, by the way, if I were to come back, say I was supposed to come back from lunch now, this is what my process would be. I would go to my screen and I would go to what's at the high, Qualcomm and STX. And STX should be at the high because it's a semiconductor. Okay, what's on the low with volume? And I also look for, so what has the most volume that's on the low? And I might see, so TAN, the solar sector, Wayfair, EMPH, Zoetis, Roku's on the low. So these stocks have a lot of volume, but I want to see what stocks are off the low that might capitulate. All the stocks that are on the low are not reversing with volume. That's the problem. You want to see some sort of capitulation, but most of the stocks with volume, TSP, you bastard. ZEV, no interest, REE. Now let's look at REE. This one was hot yesterday. I don't have it. You know what? When you're not trading that well, it just, you have to pull off, you have to take your foot off the pedal a little bit when you're not trading that well. But let me go back and wrap it up, as I say, not to be redundant, but things are moving a little quickly here, but it's our job and it's your job to pay attention after we're closed, after I sign off, to come up with the plan. Where's my TG? Where is the TGH? Pardon me for a second. Here it is, TGH. Okay. By the way, I said it a million times. All my queries are here. All these, let's look at like as NVST, MT, and STX and Baxter. They're all here. And they're all on this page that I tailored for everybody, or with the team tailored. Let's look at stocks. Okay. They're all CCJ, ACND, ZEV, NUE, Cliff. All the stocks that I have on our page are here. I bet you need Cliff. Where's Cliff? That's got to be up there. Cliff, where's Nucor? Nucor probably sold off a little bit. That's why. ZEV, CCJ, where's Nucor? Alcoa up there. You take my pick. Alcoa is up there nicely. All right, so let me sign off. And I appreciate everybody's time and questions. So be prudent. You know what? It's going to, EVs may have issues with metals. Yeah, you're right. You can't count on Chinese. Boeing, okay, let me get to Boeing because I got to ask. Lewis is asking a good question on Boeing. And the other stock that I like besides Boeing, I like Boeing. But I also like SPR better because SPR is a supplier to Boeing. Boeing's got that 200-day moving average overhead. And I've traded this SPR before. And it ran through this flag, if you will. Let's go to the long term on SPR. SPR I like better at the 65, but Boeing's a good question. Listen, Boeing makes sense. It's this type of market. You know what I mean? I'm sure UTX is up. Well, UTX, what am I doing? Honeywell. Honeywell's up $4. They're taking all those stocks up. Even 3M's up down a half. DuPont. It's flight to safety, Lewis. You know what I mean? You look at all these type of charts. EV does have issue. So I'm going to sign off as 11:40 a.m. I started a little bit late. Please have all questions. I'll be back after lunch. A couple of earnings are after the close that might drive the markets a little bit of relevance. So let's go to my Twitter feed, which everybody should be following, at least some of them. So let's go to our earnings whispers. What's got earnings tonight? After the bell. Tesla who? Okay. Let me go to Open Outcrier. He's my man. Open Outcrier's got it. Earnings after the close are downgrades and upgrades. Top earnings, Best Bed Bath & Beyond, STZ, nothing really that sexy in WBA. So I'll leave it at that. So as I sign everybody, please have a plan, trade well, be prudent, and I'll see you after lunch. Cheers and thanks for your time.